As a QA, you must experience defect leakage in production. It means after the release, there is some severe bugs found in production. Do you know how to handle defect leakage in production, or any framework that you need to follow, or QA guideline? Welcome to Code and Box Automation Lab. This is Sharful. So in this video, we're going to have a very high level guideline to see as a QA point of view how you can handle defect leakage in production. So before we go there, we'll see that's, what's the primary cause of defect leakage. Number one, it's a badly designed or outdated or missing test cases. Probably that's one of the reasons that, during your regression, you skip some of the test cases, so it was out of the test coverage. Number two, insufficient code coverage. So usually, during the developer, they do also unit testing. So maybe it's unit testing that code coverage was not part of the or missing some of the part of the release features. Number three, it's test incorrect test data. So you didn't have sufficient test data, which is more closer to your production. And also test environment. So it's not your test environment. If it's not closer to your production, definitely your test will not be parallel or expected as it's supposed to be, like your production, response. And lastly, I would say, pressure to meet deadline, like release deadline. That time, QA, they have to, but they have to sacrifice some of the, the quality or some of the part of the testing during their regression. Those are the primary cause, usually, how the defect, leakage in production. Now we're going to see a simple framework that can help you to handle the defect leakage in productions. Number one, first, try to reproduce the bug in the prod. If you haven't able to do this, like, try to find out the closer testing environment, probably use the staging environment to reproduce it. That's number one. Number two, check the impact of the bugs, like, the severity levels, the business impact. If it's like high severity, high priority, you got to find a hot fix. That's number two. Number three, once the bug has been fixed, verify the fix, identify the root cause of the bugs and ensure you have the test coverage ready for regression test. Most probably, if it's possible, try to part of that fix or test coverage in your automation. Next one is to perform regression testing in your testing environment, to ensure the code changes have not introduced any new bugs. So, it depends on your time, do your manual testing as much as possible to cover, as well as run your automation. So automation will help you a lot in this matter to ensure it's not whether the new code or fix is breaking the other part of your system or not. That after the, tester ensure that the bugs, there are no more bugs or bug has been fixed, release the build to the staging environment if you have. And so always it's good to have a staging environment which is very close to your production environment. Test by your customer to ensure that your customer also able to verify and also ensure that there is no more bugs in the staging environment. And next one is, if you get sign off from your customer, then release the fix to the production. And the lastly but not the least, like perform a smoke test in production if possible, if this is a scope. Production have a lot of limitation to test, but if you have some sort of like smoke testing, probably the automation, run that on your production, just a high level to ensure that is not breaking other part of the systems, right? Those are the, the framework or steps or QA guideline that way you can handle the skip bugs in production. To know more details about all the steps, I have a blog. You can check the link below in the description and go through that. Thank you so much. Have a good one. Bye-bye.